morning. Happy Sunday morning. I picked the best times for lives, and so I actually just wanted to reflect. I was doing a class yesterday, and someone asked me for a bit more help understanding how kinesiology and essential oils can really help with emotional release. And there's a few concepts that it's important to explain when we're talking about kinesiology and emotional health and energetic healing. So there's a really great book called The Divine Matrix by Greg Braden, and he talks about some science experiments where they actually showed energy shifting our DNA, the expression and confirmation of our DNA, but also our thoughts and emotions changing the confirmation and expression of our DNA. So we know that we inherit our DNA from our parents and grandparents. We've always been told that's why we, have a long face and light eyes and dark hair and whatever it is. We understand the basics of genetics, that we inherit our physical characteristics, but something that people are yet to understand is that we also inherit an emotional history of our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents ad infinitum. So our thoughts and emotions are going to influence the expression of our DNA. And so it's already influenced the expression of what our parents and grandparents passed down to us in our DNA. For example, my grandfather went through the war, and that experience is expressed in some way in his DNA that he passed down to my father and to me. Now, the other thing when we're working with kinesiology and essential oils and all this sort of, another concept that's really important to understand is that we are energetic beings. Now, this is not something that, science is well aware of this. We are well aware of this. Since Einstein, we've understood that we're all energy. And that we have a vibration. They've measured our heart energy. They've measured our vibrational levels and things like that. So this is all hardcore science. This is all stuff that we know scientifically. We are energy. We have a particular vibration. Disease states have a lower vibration. So why is this important to understand? Well, what we don't think about is that 90 to 95% of our energetic being that we are is subconscious and unconscious. So when we are looking at healing ourselves and understanding the truth of ourselves and our energy, we need to understand that only 5 to 10% of that is conscious, is our conscious experience and our conscious understanding. So there is a lot of us and what we've inherited energetically from our parents and grandparents expressed in our energetic being that we are not aware of, 90 to 95% subconscious and unconscious. Now, the other thing about the subconscious brain is when we are shamed or attacked or afraid of something, our subconscious absorbs everything, every experience. So we have these logical filters consciously. We might go, oh, that person's not in a good place. They said something that's a bit hurtful, but, I can logic that away. I can reason that through that, and I'm okay. And we can go to counseling, and we can be aware of our triggers and work through and gain a greater understanding of ourselves consciously. But there's still 90 to 95% that we are unaware of and we struggle to tap into. And that's where kinesiology is really powerful. Because kinesiology is looking for a reaction in the muscle as you're asking the energy system that it's connected with a question. So you're asking a question, is there a fear related to this issue? Or is there a negative belief that this person's got from their mother or father or grandmother? And the muscle will respond. So generally you'll find a locked response is a yes and a loose response is a no, but you will get a response from the muscle because the muscle is tapping into that greater energy of the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious minds all together. So, you know, it's really important to sort of understand why, like the role of kinesiology. I think people are just beginning to become aware of how powerful this is when we can tap into the subconscious and unconscious and all of those things that are there. But we also, I think we, as a society, there's been that element of shame about admitting that something is there, and that's why I like people to understand it's not all yours. It's not all your crap. You know, you've got a good dose from your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, and it's not that, you know, to blame anyone, but it's to understand that we are the sum of all of these past experiences and understandings. And when I first started working in kinesiology, the things that were affecting me in my life right then and there weren't even mine. So when I could clear those, and that's the power of kinesiology, we find them and then we clear them. So when we clear those, we get a greater sense of clarity of what's really going on for us, because we've cleared the, you know, the fear or belief that our grandmother had when she was told that she was stupid as a child, or, you know, whatever that is. When we clear that and we release that belief from our system, we have a greater clarity of our own fears and beliefs, but also the truth of who we are, and a greater sense of our strengths, our purpose, why we're here. So it's really, really powerful work. Now, people really struggle to understand as well, I think, that this is what is underlying most physical disease. I would say all, but I don't want to overstate. But most physical disease comes back to some underlying emotional or energetic, something from our parents, grandparents, something underlying an experience from our childhood. Hi, Nissa. Thanks for joining. Just going through some concepts that I went through in a class yesterday, and I think that people really like to understand that, you know, we are a sum of all of our ancestral line, and I think that when we can, it takes away a little bit of the shame to know that this stuff is coming through our subconscious from generations. Hi, Crystal. And I think that, you know, because we are a society that doesn't admit or doesn't like to face these things, like there's some sort of shame, and I think that there's so much power in knowing that it's not about shame and blame, it's about understanding what's there. We are the sum total of our experiences and our parents' experiences and our grandparents' experiences, but we have the power to clear that with kinesiology. And the other thing, the beautiful thing about the essential oils as well, is when you're looking at emotional release and emotional work, and energetically, because the oils are of such a high vibration, but emotionally our sense of smell connects directly into the amygdala, which is in the middle of the brain, which is the emotional center of the brain. So the fastest way to correct or affect mood and emotion is through the sense of smell. So we have some really powerful tools, and I was drawn to the oils for their power, and I was drawn to kinesiology because I had such amazing, mind-blowing experiences for myself. Just even after the first few sessions, I felt such a greater sense of clarity, removing things from my grandmother and my great-great-grandmother, and so I had that greater clarity and peace around who I was. And so I just like to share a greater understanding that we know that we inherit. You know, it's even in the Bible it says we inherit the sins of the father, and it's true in the most fundamental sense, because we inherit their thoughts and emotions and experiences in our DNA. So it's really, I love working with the oils and kinesiology to really tap into some of those underlying negative beliefs, because I think, again, coming back to that sense of shame, it's not shame. We remove the shame because we can do something about it. You know, it's not We're not going, oh, well, you've got this, there's something wrong with you. We go, well, you've got this, it came from your grandmother, and we're going to clear that now. So you are then free of whatever that is that you've inherited. And it comes from our own childhood as well. Up to the age of 7, we work very much on theta waves. Theta waves is like it's just you're open. You're completely open. This is why children are so open at a young age. They absorb everything, which sucks for us as parents because they've absorbed everything under the age of 7. They have no filter. And that's when obviously we're most struggling. We're most struggling to learn how to be a parent. We're most struggling with sleep deprivation. We're most struggling, you know, with a lot of new things that have come up as a result, you know, triggers that probably from our mothers and grandmothers about their parenting experience as well as ours. So, you know, like we absorb all of this stuff, and I love really working with kids on that level, because if we can clear this stuff for them now and give them that sense of clarity of who they are without all of our baggage, that's a really, really beautiful gift for them to start their lives with a clear sense of who they are and why they're here. And so I'm really passionate about connecting, because the kid, you know, we all have gifts. We all have gifts. But if we can allow children to clear this stuff that is not theirs and know who they are and know their gifts, that's an absolutely amazing, it's the biggest gift that we can give our kids. So I'll leave you with those thoughts and that information. If you'd like any more references, there's probably a few more references, but Greg Braden is a great start with the Divine Matrix. There's the Emotion Code, there's lots of others, but if you want references, just get in touch. But yeah, leave your feedback. Let me know your experiences with energetic and emotional clearing, or things that you're struggling with. I might be able to do a quick test for you to see if there's something that an oil or an affirmation that can support you. So would love to hear your feedback or your questions. And thanks for joining. All right, take care, guys. Bye.